Closer to the time.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
It's Wednesday, February 7th. And we are coming to you live. I'm Terry.
I'm Diana.
And we own For the Stitcher Soul. In fact, we can proudly say that we are now an LLC, Artful Ventures Enterprises LLC.
So we're official.
We're official.
Boy, that's a big boots to fill.
It is. Oh, honey, we can fill it. Not a problem. We can do it. So, but we're still doing business as For the Stitcher Soul. We are located on Delaware Avenue in Delmar, New York. We have a little shop right across from the Hanford Plaza. And we are open from 10 on Wednesdays and Saturdays, 10 to 4. And Thursdays, 12 to 4:30. And we love visitors.
Want to hear something funny?
Sure.
The least person that you want to ask directions from is me. But yet, every time I pick up the phone, it's somebody asking for directions, how to get here.
And then I get, here,
Terri,
you need to give directions.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised because at this day and age, and I don't know where it's coming from, but I've had several people call and say, where are you? Because you're coming up at this address. Well, I've changed everything. I don't know how it's coming up. Somebody came in on Saturday
with the wrong address.
And she said, well, I pulled it up on Google and we all pulled it up on our Googles and it came up this address. So it's interesting. I don't know if maybe these folks have looked for the shop before and had it, back when we were at the old location and hadn't cleared their cache or whatever. But, and we have directions. You can go right to our website and it gives you the directions. We've already taken care of that, Celine. But the problem is, sure, we can keep it at the register, but if they've never been here before, that's a problem. But that's a good idea. Good suggestion.
But yeah, doesn't kind of work first time out of the boat.
Yeah. But that's okay. So
love the feedback.
Yes, absolutely. Keep it coming. All right, so
who's in? We got
Celine is here, and Mary Ellen is here, and nobody else yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, actually, that's funny. I know who one of the two is.
Celine and Mary Ellen.
Oh, okay.
But if someone else comes up and there's no name,
come to find out, my sister-in-law does. She
Excellent.
comes up and she does.
Donna?
Yes.
Hi, Donna, if you're watching. Hello, Miss Sarah.
And she said, and she's funny because she said, I do watch your show. She goes, I like the lady with the red hair. She's very, how did Erica say it?
Spicy?
No, she's very energetic.
Oh, yeah.
Energetic.
Oh, yeah. It comes from having ADD. You learn to work with it, girls. Hey, Mick. Glad you're here. So, what's new with us? Larry went to Massachusetts on Sunday to watch Abby compete.
Oh, how did that go?
She placed 12th and very nervous. First competition ever. She was extremely nervous.
Well, now she's got that under her belt.
She's got that under her belt, and she was happy. So,
that's
and then
good.
Of course he got to see the Precious. And I'm so jealous. But I said that to him. He goes, wait. You've been more than I have. And I went, I know, but still. So I got to just show you that face. Look at that face.
Oh, look at the little hair thing.
Look at that face. And man, she's got dance moves. She likes to dance. Libby bought James a card for his birthday, one of those singing cards. And it
Oh,
what
that's
a
the one you
man, what
showed
a
me.
man. And the baby sitting on the floor going, dancing to it. But she's
Oh,
just
look at, she sits up really
oh
good.
yeah, well, she's working on 10 months old.
It doesn't seem
no,
like-
no, it doesn't. She's
doesn't.
working on 10 months old. She got her top 2 teeth. They came in.
When
They
did you get
dropped
the
down.
shoes?
Oh, I already bought her a pair, but I'm going to buy her another
Okay.
pair. But she, I found the bottom tooth.
Oh, the bottom.
But she'd been working on the top 2. She'd been miserable, the poor little thing. But she finally cut them, so they're coming down. Yeah, the top 2.
At the runny nose.
Oh, runny nose, cranky, drooling, poor baby. She just. So anyhow, and she's walking, furniture walking.
Ooh.
Before you know it, she's gonna be running.
That's it.
So anyhow, so we did that. What about you?
I stitched a lot because I wanted to get that one project done.
I was kicking myself in the butt today because I actually had time. I did some stuff around the house, and I actually got to sit down and stitch for a little bit. And I was working on Christmas Parade so that I could get that done.
So
and didn't I
behind.
leave it sitting on the hassock? And it's like crap. So I'm gonna have to run home after the shop closes at 4. And
I am horribly behind on doing mine. I'm usually
so am I.
I mean,
I'll bet Patty's almost done by this point.
I'm usually right behind Patty doing it, but
you've been doing shop models and stuff lately. So.
Yeah. But so I didn't, but then again, it's such a cute pattern, and I just, I kind of didn't want to rush it.
It is cute. And I made a mistake. I pointed it out to the girls who were here at the shop on Saturday. I made a mistake. I stitched with the wrong color, but I like the mistake, so I'm keeping it.
But I noticed last Saturday, a lot of the ladies brought their pattern with them, and they were stitching it at while we were doing the pattern adoption. A lot of them changed it up a little bit, slightly. Like instead of doing it white, I think somebody is doing it using icicle.
I also switched up because the fabric we used, the gray and the beard kind of blended into the background. So I changed things up a bit where it called for a darker gray for the boots and a couple other things. And what I did was I changed that to the dark, the gray and the beard, and I changed the boots and the things that were that color to black.
See, that was one of the colors that I had planned because Santa Claus's boots are always in black. And they didn't, maybe when they do the colors and whatever.
But that's what makes it your own. That's the nice thing about charts. And some people are scared to do that. They like it the way they see it, and that's all there is to it. But you can make it your own chart and your own design by changing things up a little. If you don't like the way something looks, or when you do your floss toss, which is when you take the floss for the project, spread it out on your fabric and look at the colors to see if they all go together with the fabric. Maybe you don't like the way it looks on that fabric. You want to pick a different fabric. Or say the fabric you want to use is like for me, that gray just blended into the background. It didn't look right. So I changed it. I probably went a little too dark, but I'm happy with it. So I'm just going to continue it.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing about having a local needlework shop, is because you can go and you can take your chart, you can pick your fabric, pull your colors, lay it all out, and you're going to be happy with it. The issue with ordering online is that the colors don't necessarily show true because of photography. It's just the way it is. The colors do not always show true. And I know, for instance, there was a chart, I believe it was from Brenda Gervais a couple of years ago, that had a pink house, or what they thought the picture looked like. It was a pink house. Everyone loved the chart, but when they got the chart, they found out it was actually a corally peach color, and they were not happy because they wanted pink. So we changed things around. So you can do that. It's just the way it photographs. There's not much you can do about it. Hence why we have a successful shop, because our local folks are starting to find us. We're very happy. We're getting new people in all the time. We had a gal come over from Utica, Rome area on Saturday who was just getting into cross stitch. So, and we're having more and more people come in, which is great. We're so happy. So, and good morning, Patty. Glad you could join us. So the other thing new is we had Pattern Adoption Day on Saturday. We had a blast. It was so much fun. And as a surprise, I didn't share it with anybody, Sarah Wilbur made an appearance for the day.
She was fun.
And we were very happy.
Yes.
And she brought her friend with her. Yep. They came for a road trip for the day. So we were thrilled to have them here. Yep. And she brought a couple of new patterns that we'll show you. And we just had a great day.
Can I just say, there was a pattern that I have been, when you see something that you absolutely
have to have.
Let me just say, it doesn't take much.
Well, remember, this is the one who goes to the place that shall not be named.
Yep.
And will actually fight you for a book.
Yes. There's a pattern that when we did our the October retreat, the 3-day retreat.
Yep.
The ladies were talking about this one specific pattern, and it just something in it just sparks your, and can I see what it like?
Drawn to it. Yeah.
Well, they showed me the picture of it, and ever since then,
you've been dying to get it.
I laugh when I hear people say, "Oh, it's my unicorn," but it's not out of print and it's not anything difficult, but it was the funniest thing when I went. One of the ladies that brought it up at the 3-day retreat, and then a couple ladies automatically knew about it, and it's in that book. I can never remember.
Hirschner's?
Yes, it's in Hirschner's, and I guess it's a PDF. And I don't know what it is, but every time someone mentions it, I go, I gotta get that pattern before they discontinue it. It is the heart-shaped candy box for Valentine's Day. In the inside of it, it's all the candy that you put in it. And
buy yourself a heart-shaped Russell Stover box.
I already did. I had such a crappy Monday that I stopped and I picked it up and I said, I deserve this. So I bought it because it was full price, because it's not Valentine's Day yet. But I was like, I haven't.
Did you eat that candy?
No, I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it yet. But you know what?
You got more willpower than me, girl. But there's a reason I have a weight problem.
But I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if I can say it or not. So, okay, I guess I can say it.
Yeah.
But the minute she took it, she was the one that mentioned it at the retreat. And ever since then, literally have been drooling over that pattern. And I just...
Thank you, Celine, for making the Woman's Day. Thank you.
She took it out of the bag and she put it in the bin. And I go, nope.
Give it to
coming home. No, it's not even going
Let me
out.
tell you, if anybody else had tried to get that pattern, there was going to be a knockdown drag out. I'm sure.
And now I'm really good about it now because I've had a couple run-ins at the library.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But I figure as soon as I finish I've got one more shop project to do. And as soon as I finish that, I don't care if Valentine's Day's passed or whatever, that pattern is bumped everything else, even Christmas parade. I want to do it. So when I literally start stitching it, then I'll open it. But of course, if Vincent said, can I open
Have a piece of candy?
Yeah, I'll say yes. But for the most part, that's...
Well, tell him he can have the candy, but the box is yours.
Oh, yeah,
Give it to him for Valentine's Day.
No, because it's funny. It's funny. And again, thank you so much, Celine. I so appreciate that because I've been jonesing for that pattern. When I got home, the first thing out of my mouth to Vince was, because he was sitting at the counter in the kitchen, was, Celine brought the pattern in. Celine brought the pattern in. And Vince just looked at me like I had 6 heads and I'd taken complete loss of sense.
Yeah, and like deer in the headlights. Yeah.
Exactly. And said to me, okay, I get the pattern part, but I'm not sure about the rest. So I showed it to him and he was like, oh yeah, that's really nice. And I said, okay, now we got to get the candy to put it in. That was Saturday night. I picked it up on Monday because I wanted to make sure I got it.
Oh, of course.
But I am.
Did you get sitting? Is it a big box or?
I got the medium size. The pattern's about that big. So the box, but I figured I can alter it to fit into the box on the different count I use. But everybody that walks in the house, look at this pattern, look at this pattern, look at this pattern.
You're as bad as Vince.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, we love Vince. Vince is a wonderful man. He's an absolute joy. And he's one of our best cheerleaders. I got to tell you, the man will even push our store and our YouTube channel at a funeral.
Yep. Yep.
To strangers, he'll walk up to, my wife owns a store. You need to go and watch it. She's on YouTube. We love him. We love him. Between him and Audrey,
I'm telling you, the best PR people we could get.
Absolutely.
Actually, I already figured out, thank you for mentioning it. I already figured out how to assemble it, to put it together, the whole 9 yards. I mean, in my mind, I already had it. I mean, it was the minute I looked at the pattern, when you know that a pattern's meant to be, that pattern's meant to be for me. Yeah. I don't know what it is about that pattern. I don't know. I may have to stitch it for my daughter though, but I might have to do more than one. But that's okay because I really like it. Oh yeah. Oh God, yes.
Lately you're used to that.
Yeah. But no, it looks like a fun stitch. But I was to say how happy I was that made my day. That made my day getting that pattern. I was like, oh, thank you.
Market's coming up and we're starting to get the emails from the designers. I know they've been putting out their little sneak peeks on their different channels and whatnot. But we're starting to get the emails with the purchasing directions. So we're going to be working on getting them pulled up. We're going to create a separate page on the website for pre-orders. So you can just go there and we'll try and keep up because they're going to be coming fast and furious now. So we'll try and if for some reason we haven't gotten to, or there's a pattern that you want, you can email us and let us know so that we can make our shopping list, because we leave the 28th of February and we are taking custom orders until, or the pre-orders until, what did we say? The 26th?
I think so.
We're taking pre-orders till Monday the 26th. So if there's something you want, let us know. We'll get it all typed up and ready and we'll invoice you and we'll make sure that we get all of our shopping list completed and ready to go.
Because the more organized we are, the smoother it goes.
Yes, absolutely. Because, when we go to market, you're looking at 4 floors of a, which one is it? Hilton? I'm trying to remember what the brand name, but basically there's a center court, and there's all the suites are on the
Go around it.
on
So
the
you-
outside of it, and there are 4 floors, every suite full of vendors. And when we get there on Thursday, we sit down and set up a gate. The embassy, thank you, Sarah. We set up a game plan of how we're going to attack getting to. We start with your
Map. Yep.
We start with your pre-orders.
Yep.
We work on getting the pre-orders first. Then we go shopping for the store.
And it usually, because the doors open at what, 4?
Yeah, Friday afternoon at 4:00. The shops open
For a couple hours.
for they're open, I think, 4 hours. They
Yeah.
were 4 to 8. Excuse me, and then they open up. What is it? 9 or 10 on Saturday morning. So, and they're open all day on Sunday too. Though, to be honest with you, Saturday or Sunday tends to be on the dead side.
Yeah, which
There
is
are
nice. You
I
get
think
to go
a few
around.
local people probably hang about, or people who are staying to give themselves a little bit of a break from, like, we'll stay on Sunday because it's so exhausting because you're running. You're literally running.
Well, last year it took us, we got
just about everything done. The bulk of it was done by Saturday
midday.
afternoon.
Yeah. Afternoon. Yeah.
But then we had some others on Sunday morning we needed to hit last minute.
Yep.
So,
and it's like run. The nice thing was we tackled it floor by floor.
Yeah.
When we did
they give us a map, and we look to see, when we circle which ones we have to go to first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we look to see what floor has the most that we need to go to. And we attack it that way. We have a strategy of how we're going to
efficiently.
get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's always lines when we go. There's always a line. So it's not, you walk in, you do what you need to do, and then you can leave. It's a good 10-minute wait in each of the rooms, the line.
And I know when
because they sold out early.
When Blackbird and Brenda Gervais used to go, there was a line outside their doors that went all the way around almost to so if half of the court,
elevator to elevator.
From their door back around to their door again. Sometimes there was lines.
Well, that's Plum Street. I think the line was pretty big because we wanted to get the glasses, and their Plum Street was here.
Right.
And then the glass lady. Was
the
like
toy
right
ladies.
Here. Toy ladies. Yeah.
The toy ladies. We love going in there. They have unique stuff. They have little gadgets and gizmos that we like to look and see if there's anything excuse me, new and unique to bring in. And that's where we get our
odd things like the
magnifying glasses
and stuff like that. Yeah.
The light up threaders and things like that. So there's lots of different things. So, and we look for new things that, maybe didn't come out in market as, the designers or whatever. So
and finishing stuff too.
We look for
a lot of finishing
we
stuff.
work on getting finishing stuff as well. So
yeah. And then we have we generally will take like a list of what we need to pick up. A couple people asked about the needles, picking up various different kinds of needles, which that's another thing we got to look at.
Mm-hmm.
The
ball
tips at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing.
Specifically the Sullivan ones they mentioned. Yep. And I don't think Sullivan goes to market. I don't remember.
I don't remember
think
seeing
so.
It last year.
But I can order them directly from Sullivan.
Yeah.
So,
but I while we were out and about looking at the gadget places, I figured that's a good place to look, to grab one or two.
Yeah.
If we can find, if they have any which
Yep.
they probably would have needles there.
Yeah. Try, see, get a couple of different kinds and then find out what people like the most.
Yep.
Because, it's like some people prefer Bowen over John James, and some people prefer John James over Peacemakers, or, so it's all what people, and we tend to go and stock for the majority.
Now, do you use a specific needle?
I tend to use John James.
I like John James.
I guess just because I got used to using them when I was doing the reenacting, because they've been around, company's been around that long.
Really?
Yeah. And it's been handed down through the generations, and the John James needles are the ones that I would carry in the reenacting shop when I was doing reenacting. I had a little shop where I would sell stuff for reenactors, needles and buttons and all period correct stuff, so that they could make their own clothing, because we had to make all our own clothing. I mean, from scratch. I did everything by hand. I made multiple sets of clothing for Larry and I.
But you stitch on everything. You stitch on linen, you stitch on Ada, you stitch
I can stitch on anything.
Exactly. Your needle doesn't dictate, the needle you use doesn't dictate what you're stitching, what material you're stitching with.
It does. And far as, needles have, there's different types of needles. Okay. And you have to have the appropriate needle for the project that you're working on. So if you're doing cross stitch, you want to use a tapestry needle. It's got a blunt tip, a larger eye. Okay. So that you do not pierce the threads of your fabric. You want to go through the hole. You don't want to pierce the thread. If you're working with, like for me, I would use very fine woven linen to make clothing, because the majority of clothes back in the 18th century were either linen, silk, or wool. That's what you had. You had a little bit of Indian cotton, but that was few and far between, because it was pretty expensive. Linen was the average, and the classes were determined by the quality of the linen you were wearing. So when you're using, when you're working with that type of a linen, you want to use a sewing needle, which has a sharp tip. If you're doing crewel work, you want a bigger eye needle and a sharp point. So you would use a crewel needle. There's needles specifically for crewel. There's needles specific for embroidery.
Yep.
So you would pick your needle based on what project you're working on, and then the size. And you always pick the size that will leave the smallest hole in the fabric. Same goes for when you're working on Ada. If you're working on a very fine or a small whole project, say you're using an Ada 20, because in cross stitch fabric, a size 14 is bigger than a size 20. Okay, so you wouldn't want to use a 24 needle on a 20 count fabric, because you're going to leave a gaping hole that your thread isn't going to fill, and it's not going to look nice.
That's what happened when, excuse me, I had a doctor's appointment on Monday, and I wanted that one project that I'm doing. It's on a smaller count, but it's on Ada. And I couldn't, and I had my little petite colonial
needle petite.
Which I like to use because I like to stitch on 16. My favorites are 16, 18, and now 20.
Now, the only difference between a 26 or a 28 count tapestry needle and a 26 or a 28 count petite is the length of it.
Right. The problem I had was when I did it, I'll show it. I did this pattern. It's a super, super, super easy stitch.
By the way, this is the pattern that we have in the project bag of the month for this month. We mixed them up.
Yes, I did. I'm
February has the parrot.
I messed up. I'm not gonna lie.
You will get the intended one for February in the March bag.
Yes. But let me just tell you,
and Sarah will be cracking up, I'm sure.
Yes. But, and I told her the minute I saw this, I went nuts because I don't know what it is about it. I
love
really
parrots.
love
I think they're great.
So,
my mom's got one. His name is Willie.
But the thing is, because I was doing that on a high count, the 18 count, I had the little petite needle. Okay. I got frustrated with doing that. So then I switched and did this in the waiting room. Now this is 14 count. Oh my God. It kept falling through and it drove, I don't know. Well, drove me nuts to stitch with the petite needle.
Most people use the people who use a petite are people who have either small hands or they're doing their cross stitch the sewing method.
See,
and the sewing method is when you are working on the surface of your pattern and you're doing it in a sewing type of motion where you're doing your I would have to demonstrate it, but you don't stab and then come back up and stab and come back up. You take your needle and you literally take your needle and put it down to where your next stitch is going to come up and you pull the thread through and then you do the same thing. So you're doing a sewing motion. It's easier to handle the smaller needle to get to where you need to go than it is to use a long needle. And that's why people use petite needles for that, because it's easier to manipulate.
So needless to say, the wrong needle made it up.
You will find if you're having a difficulty, try changing your needle. Yep. If you've got little hands, I have little hands.
See, okay? I don't.
I have little hands. So I like petite needles. I like to work with them. I got used to when I was quilting. Betweens are for quilting. They're very sharp. They got a very thin eye and they tend to be short so that you can move quickly. Okay. And I got used to using short needles when I was doing hand quilting.
See, my hands are long. And I use a higher count. Sometimes when I do, and I want to move fast, I'll do it on 14 because I can whip through 14 like nobody's business.
Right. But it's easy to see the holes.
Exactly. But the funny part, and I don't need any unusual light or anything
magnification
like that.
Or anything.
Well, I don't stitch with magnification anyway.
Oh, I do.
So it's not a problem. But I will say this. It's one of the few times, and I'm a puncher. I make a complete
Oh, you're a stabber?
I'm a stabber. So I'm not your typical petite person. Nothing about this body is petite. Let me just put it to you that way. But like I always say, they had me at gold.
We're sisters.
But I will say this. I can show this, right?
Yes. Yeah. Sarah won't care.
This is the pattern. And I love them. Love them. Love them, love them. But I will tell you this, and I didn't catch it. She comes in and she gives you a little second stop type thing. Well, I messed it up.
This is actually the third stop in the trip series.
And then she gives you
So we're going to backtrack to the second stop.
So she gives you a description.
She tells you a little bit about it.
The animal on the pattern.
I thought that was so great. And this is a military macaw. They live to be about 50, 60 years old.
And let me just tell you, he is a fun.
They're from Mexico.
I changed up one of the colors in it. Actually, I changed two of the colors in it. I changed the red because I wanted it just a tad bit different shade. and I changed this.
The leg.
The leg, because and you know what I also changed? I changed his eye. I gave him a blue. I don't like giving black eyes.
Really?
After I said that, it was like, well, no, I like, whenever I do something, I always stitch and give him blue eyes. Anything that I'm doing, unless it's a Halloween one, then I may. But for the most part, like in this instance, I will always do a blue eye. The same thing if I'm stitching a face for something or whatever, I always give it a blue eye. Same thing with Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Christmas parade.
Santa has to have a blue eye.
I don't do, and for some reason, everybody, I get it that it stands out. But I thought with the beak being the black and I think it brings out the gray a little bit. So I gave him a little bit darker.
My favorite dog is a dachshund. And if you don't know what that is, it's a little dachshund that's tricolored, and it has one blue eye and one brown eye. Oh. The other type of dog that has that is sometimes you'll see it in a husky.
Australian.
And an Australian shepherd.
Yep.
But I love the one brown eye, one blue eye. I think it's so cool.
Really. But can I just say, simple, fast, fun.
And speaking of Project Bag of the Month, we only have 2 left.
Yep.
Look at that. Bag. Deb Walker does a fantastic job with our bags. I just love
the inside.
She does a
filled
great
mine
job.
Up already.
Yep.
There's the inside fabric.
And there's only 2 left.
I know. The minute I took them out, it was like hands all over the place. But it's pretty. And I don't know if you can see it, but look at this. The little flowers inside the heart.
Rosebuds almost.
Inside the heart.
Yeah.
And the hearts are all different.
They're beautiful. I love it. I can't wait to see what she does for March.
I just think it's a fun pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I just really think it's a fun pattern.
Yep.
So I'm a big, now I have an empty bag. I don't match the project. Like some people match the project to the bag.
Yep.
Yeah. No, not me. Not me. Oh, and
I pull out my favorite bag and I just fill it up.
I don't. I use whatever bag is in. Like,
well, that's what I mean. Yep. Whatever bag I'm feeling like that day is what I put a project in. Okay, and fabric of the month has been the January fabric has been received and orders have been shipped, and we do have some left. It's vanilla cream this month. It's a beautiful buttery color, and we have 14, 16. We have some 28 count. I don't think we have any 18 left.
No, I don't think 18 we have nothing left, and I think 32.
We have one of 32 left.
Yes,
one of 32.
Yep.
And at a couple weeks, we're having class here at the shop on. I'm going to teach you how to stitch on these bags. These are the mesh bags by It's So Emma, and this is the chart we're going to feature. The Thankful Bag from Shepherd's Bush, and I have ordered all the pearl cotton to do it. So I'll be teaching you how to stitch on the bag. So I'm excited.
Did you see Noelle's?
Yes, Noelle did one. One of our regulars came in. We gave these bags as the gift for the October retreat this year, last year, and what was I going to say? She stitched her name on it, big letters, using regular floss. But she stitched her name on it. So you can do anything with these bags. These are great. You can leave them just the way they are, or you can stitch on them. And so I'm going to be teaching that class on the 24th. What did I say the price on that class was? $25?
Yep.
$25 for the instruction. It's from 1 to 3 on Saturday, the 24th. If you want a bag, they're available here. And I will have the pearl cotton available as well. If you want to bring your own, that's fine. It's up to you. But we will have what you need here to complete the project. And then we have a couple new charts from our buddy Sarah.
This, I think this is adorable. Perfect together forever. It's gorgeous. A lot of the ladies snapped up on Saturday, and I just think I love this. The heart.
Yeah, that's a beautiful. I love the rose in it.
Yep.
Of course,
Very
I
pretty.
love that blue rose. It's not a natural color for a rose or
But it
what
looks
you would
pretty.
think about, but it's beautiful. I love the blue rose.
And I love how I don't think you can see it, but I'll hold it up, try and get it as close as I can. But the color, she highlighted the shape of the rose with a different color.
Yeah, she
Very
created
pretty.
shading.
Yes.
It's basically what she did for the petals.
Gorgeous job. And I look at these tiny little pink flowers.
Yeah.
Aren't they pretty?
No,
Really
it's
pretty.
a beautiful chart.
So that's
available. That's already up on the website.
And this was the other
And
one.
this is a new release, guys.
Yes.
This isn't even available at Hoffman yet. We have it first. So,
and then this one, which
Kitty Christmas. She released that last December.
Right. Which we got a couple more in.
And every kitty owner knows and feels the pain of this. Yeah. Okay? Because you always put the non-breakable ornaments on the bottom of the tree because inevitably the cats are going to play with the ornaments. So,
yeah. But those are gorgeous if you're.
And we were very bad last week. We got sidetracked and didn't get a chance to pick the numbers for WIPGO. So I'm going to do that right now before I forget again. And the number for this month is 23. And I will be working on my sheep virtue. So I'll have to pull that back out, see if I can't get that done. Last month, I did a little bit of work on Hollyberry, but not that much, except when I was sick with COVID. It was a mild case, so I was able to stitch with no problem, but that's about the only time because we had inventory and end of year stuff we had to get done, so we didn't get a chance. So the number for this month is 23. How we're doing WIPGO this year is you work on that pattern for the month. Put as much time into it as you want. You know, we had recommended last year 4 to 5 hours in a month's time, and if you want to continue that, you can certainly do that. If you go on to our Facebook page, up in the file section, you can download the game board, or we also have a Facebook group for the Stitcher's Soul WIPGO. It just says WIPGO with our logo on it, which we'll be changing our logo at some point. But you can join the group. It's a private group. So you can get that the game board from the group, or if you come to the store, we have some here. And basically what you do is there's 25 boxes. Number 13 is your free space. It's just like playing bingo. The game was thought up by Jessie Marie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff, who also has a YouTube channel. And she came up with this to try and get a handle on some of her whips. And in each square, you put a project, a chart, or a piece you want to work on, a project you want to do related to your cross stitch. Like, say you want to organize your charts, or you want to create a list of your fabrics, or take inventory of your floss, whatever project or work piece you're working on, you put them in a square, and we generate the number, and that's what you work on for the month. Once you finish, if you happen to finish a project, you can put a new one in. If you want to do a new start. You can put some new starts on your chart as well. Mine are all works in progress. And I haven't hit them all. I have a work in progress from 1989 that I have not finished. It's one of those cute little country folk art angels that I just love. I love it. I just haven't had 5 minutes. So when I finish something on my WhipGo board, which I have a big version on the wall here, and then I also have a little version that I carry around with me. When I finish one of the projects on there, I am going to put my little country angel on so that I finish her, because the poor little thing's been sitting in a drawer on a frame, scroll rod frame for all these years. So I need to finish it. Hi, Kathleen. Glad you could join us. Oh, thank you. I'm, other than having a little bit of COVID brain every so often, I'm fine. So, okay, what's next?
You got to draw. Did you pick the number?
I did. Number
okay.
23.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Go ahead.
One of the things at the pattern adoption was I put in some books that I had duplicates, which I have not to worry. I have tons and tons of books. I love them. I just absolutely love them. But one of the things that somebody did was,
it's our corporate kit.
Oh, okay. One of the things that a lot of the people dropped off are the little towels.
Yes, we got a lot of hand towels from that.
I gotta turn patterns around.
Here, I'll hold.
Okay.
There we go. There.
But in one of the books, for anybody that got it, this book is still here. But there's the little design to do on, and looking at them, they are red, green.
Yeah.
A lot of the other ones, there was quite a few towels there. A lot of the ladies snapped up, they were really nice. But I thought those are really, and they look to be a simple design. Pretty, not your traditional
you sewers.
one.
If there's any sewers out there, you can make your own towel by just taking some if you want Aida cloth or linen, and cut it as big as you want. Cut an extra like half an inch on either side. I actually do an inch so that I have a half an inch above the design exposed, and then you have a half an inch for a seam, and you can cut your fabric or cut your towel. If it's got a fancy edge on it, you separate it out as far as you need to. You stitch your two ends together, and you have yourself a nice little fingertip towel. Not difficult to do.
Okay.
Oh, I love, yeah. Well, that's for the pleating.
Yeah,
pleating.
But can I show that?
It's
just the template of the
stocking. I would imagine.
Yeah, because it doesn't, but it just shows you. But here's another thing. I love my stockings. But I never thought to do this. The pleated.
A pleated ruffle around the edge.
Yep. So, I got this book home.
She got them all.
I know. It's
like a Pokemon. Got to catch them all.
I'm telling you.
For those of you who don't remember Pokemon.
Oh, they're still popular.
Oh, they're still very popular.
Dear God, I'm for always
between my kids and my grandkids.
Oh, your son's ones are probably worth something.
Oh, he didn't save too many of them.
Oh, see,
which is a shame, because they probably would have been worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah, yep. Everybody's collecting, but I have this book, and I know there was a reason I picked this book, but I can't remember. But again, I pick up a book and say, "Oh, thank God I got that book." Because I got the pattern, see, and I found it again. And I know I bought this when I got this book. I got it for a specific reason. I just found another one. It's a sickness with me. Can't stop.
Wonderful, isn't it? Wonderful. Okay, so do we have anything else? No, we don't.
No, just the patterns, the bag.
Yeah, we're going to be, last year we did, after Pattern Adoption Day, we did fill a bag for a certain amount of money.
Yep.
This year we're doing fill a bag, $15. You can fill the bag and with anything from the tables, and
Just the tables.
Just the tables. You know, it's $15. You fill the bag and it's yours.
Yep. We'll leave that out.
That we'll leave. Week. Well, yeah, I was thinking probably till we'll probably get rid of it on the 22nd. We'll leave it up till the 22nd. So anyone coming in between now and the 22nd.
Yeah, because Saturday we have a lot of traffic.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot more traffic on Saturdays. So we'll leave that up till the 22nd. Then we'll take that down because we'll need the space for class. So,
but it was.
We had quite a few people.
It was
packed in here.
I turned around Saturday morning and I brought, because I made bread.
We had people sitting in the parking lot waiting for us.
And waving at me, and they know who they are.
We won't mention any names.
I brought like the silverware for the soup, and I brought bread, and I brought cups and the drinks and stuff. I put the stuff in the room with all. I came back out, and that front room was standing room only. It wasn't even 10 o'clock. Yeah. And I'm thinking, where did all you people come from? But they were just standing there, and they had.
Can we start? Can we start?
It was hysterical.
For those of you who've never participated, and how it came about is, I was trying to think of something fun to do for customers to spice up the winter months, because it gets long and boring. So I love Steve Caparizzo. He is the chief meteorologist on Channel 10 locally, and that's the ABC network. And I love Steve Caparizzo, and he is a huge animal advocate. And he features a segment called Pet Connection, where he works on getting dogs and cats and other animals adopted. And they have a couple times a year, they have an event called Pet Adoption Day, where you can go, you can interview. They have it at different locations. I think Curtis Lumber helps support them. And they'll have a pet adoption day. And you go, you meet the dog, and you adopt them. and the thing was, you're looking to give them their forever homes. Well, I was laying in bed one night, and I was, what can I do to spice up the winter months and have some fun? And so I'm laying in bed, and I was watching the news, and Steve came on, and I thought, oh, Pet Adoption Day. And that's when I came up with Pattern Adoption Day, because
I keep calling it Pattern Exchange.
She calls it Pattern Exchange. I said, no, it's Pattern Adoption Day, because you're taking these poor, lonely charts and giving them a new forever home, not FUR, FOREVER, forever home. Well, temporarily, because then we'll have another Pattern Adoption Day and it'll make the rounds. But it's we have people that bring us inevitably people who have died, or people who are just cleaning up their stash, and we'll get phone calls saying, I have this stuff, can you take it?
We don't want to throw it away.
We don't want to throw it away. Can you take it? So me being who I am, I cannot say no. So it's like, yeah, sure. So I get piles of stuff. And it's like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? So that's how Pattern Adoption Day was born. So we take all that donated stuff, and we organize it all up on tables, and you come for the day. We feed you lunch. I made homemade broccoli cheddar soup. She made homemade bread. I made hermits, and one of Mary Ellen brought oatmeal
Oatmeal
cookies.
raisins. Oh my
God, they were so
God.
good, and little brownie bites. And we have lunch, and they attack, and we sit here and stitch, and it was a blast, absolute blast. And so if you get a chance, they loved it so much. I did it last year for the first time, and they loved it so much that they said we could do it again. And I said, sure. So we're going to make that an annual.
That was fun.
So, if you have things that you want to get rid of, we'll take them in donation, and we'll put them aside, and they'll be ready for Pattern Adoption Day next year, which is always the first Saturday in February, because that's when we reopen after having done inventory. So that's how that works. Excuse me. And then we leave for market on our adventure.
This year is we're early because it's it feels like everything is early this year.
Well, yeah, it's because of how everything's falling.
Easter,
but it's always the first weekend in March. So
market.
It depends on how the days fall.
Yep.
So if the first of the month falls on a Monday, that following weekend would be market. So it all depends on where in the cycle of days falls. But this year it's on. It starts on the 1st and then ends on the 3rd, and we will be back. We leave the 28th. We'll be back on March 5th. We will not have a live on the 28th. What we are looking to do is on Facebook. We'll do some Facebook lives, and maybe we might be able to do some live feeds or shorts from Nashville. And post on the YouTube channel.
And there's always in the lobby of Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, yeah. So
that's a given.
We're going to have to start setting alarms because we get so busy doing things that we forget to stop. Literally, we forget to stop. We just keep going and going and going, and we're like the Energizer bunnies. So we're going to have to start setting alarms to remind us we need to stop and do a quick little short to kind of keep you guys involved, okay? Because we want you involved in our adventure. You are our loyal customers, and we want you involved in our adventure. So we're going to do a better job this year of sharing the adventure with you. So we will be leaving from the parking lot here on the 28th of February. We will be back in town on March 5th. However, we will not be doing a live that week because I have a doctor's appointment that I cannot miss, and I have to be at the doctor's during our show. So
our market, I think we're
market day is the 16th of March. So our plan is to have everything organized, set up, ready for you to come and pick up your purchases and shop to see what else we picked up. Yep. Okay. So we'll probably have appetizers that day. So if you want to bring your stitching and join us, we'll probably have some snackies, like appetizers of some kind, something easy to snack on. So you can come and join us for that.
Can we make a request?
Sure. What?
Mary Ellen, can you do your cookies again?
Mary Ellen, will you bring the oatmeal cookies?
Oh my God. I'm telling you, I brought, she said,
I want to try my hand at shortbread cookies. I love shortbread cookies.
Vince, as Vince would say, who made these cookies? And I said, Mary Ellen. He goes, I think I love her.
I think I love her.
Oh my God.
You know, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So
you would think I never feed him. But he was like, oh my God. And then
they were great cookies.
We were down to the last, no, they're mine. They're mine.
I still have a few left. If I had known, I'd have brought them for you. Yes, I'll make cookies.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, excellent. So we'll have some on market day. We'll have some kind of appetizers and snacky things. And Mary Ellen will bring her oatmeal cookies.
Actually, I have a fun little trivia thing for you.
Oh yeah.
I was watching last night because I wanted to. My brain was in the right spot, so I was doing that one project.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never seen these two. I think they're sisters. I believe that they're sisters. It's I think they're the Stitcher, the Global Stitchers, or Stitchers Global, or something like that.
Yeah.
But they did you know how you can get patterns online like Stash Unload, Etsy, and whatever.
Yeah.
But they did the top 25 of the most expensive patterns that are in print, not in. Most of them were, I think, not in print.
Out of print.
And your Lady of the Flag,
mm-hmm.
She was in the top 5.
How much is she going for?
I think she was 2 something. I can't remember what it was.
I've seen 500 on eBay.
But that one was a lot of Blackbird, which is, you would expect. But it was
with Barb's passing. Yeah.
It was Birds of the Feather. I guess those are her older ones.
Oh, you mean Loose Feathers?
It might have been. They're brown pattern with black borders around the edge of them. They're. I can't remember what it was.
Could be the Birds of a Feather. That was a series she did as well.
But a lot of those were up in price. I'm trying to think. But it was really fascinating that some of the patterns were up there in price because they're no longer in print.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them did come back into print. And
that's how I managed to get my Lady of the Flag, because Lady of the Flag is designed by Nora Corbett.
A lot of
Mirabilia.
Big
Mirabilia and Nora Corbett is the designer. Her mom was the designer for Lavender and Lace, and her mom passed away. So all the lavender and lace, if you have one, they're a collector's item as well.
But a lot of
they're not produced.
A lot of memorabilia.
But Nora designed Lady of the Flag for 9/11.
They did say that.
To commemorate 9/11. And it went out of print, and everybody decided
it was an exclusive. They said,
yeah, it was an exclusive. It went out of print, and so many people were clamoring because they wanted it and wanted it and wanted it. That was it in 2019? Might have been 2018 or 2019. They did a release. It was before I owned the store, and she did a re-release of it, and your shops were getting only had a limited number that they would have. So at the time, I was going down to Hyde Park. It was the nearest place we had. So I called Pat Athanas, who owns Deer Hill Farm cross-stitch shop. I said, Pat, are you getting any? And she said, I think so. I said, save me one. I want one, period. So I got one at the going price of $20.
It's not $20 now, but that was fascinating.
Maybe I'll work on that tonight.
That was really fascinating to see.
Since I don't have Sheep Virtue with me, maybe I'll work on Lady of the Flag tonight.
But
because I haven't had a chance, I bought it to do for my husband because he's retired military, and I loved it. And my original plan was to do it on the Constitution fabric, the fabric that has the Constitution on it, and I was going to do it in the blue. Mm-hmm. But
you have the gold one.
No, I have the silver conversion because a couple years ago, somebody did. There's multiple versions of it in different colors. There's a green, there's a yellow, there's a blue, there's a well, a couple of years ago, someone did the silver conversion where it's all done in silver on the one and only purchase I ever made from Stitchery Express. Moonless Witch's Night by Stitchery Express. I think Fabric Flare might have made the fabric, but it is just stunning. If you get a chance to go online and look up the silver conversion of Lady of the Flag, it's just stunning. All the other conversions, as for my evaluation, is all the other versions pale in comparison to this. It's just stunning. So I ditched everything and I got the stuff to do her. Well, I just started her last year and I need to get her done. So I need to get some work done on her. And unfortunately, because I still work the day job and I'm doing all the administrative stuff and running the store, I don't get a lot of time to stitch. And, I knew that was going to happen, but reality has struck. So I've been trying to set aside some time.
That's the hard part. That's finding time, because usually
you have to make it, and you gotta set. I'm finding I have to set it in stone in my planner to. Okay, I am going to stitch on this day, or I am going to stitch on this day.
I think.
Because if I don't, I will never get any of my own stitching done.
Right.
And I mean, if it requires a needle, I know how to do it. If I don't know how to do it, I can figure it out because I love my needlework. Everyone has that hobby that they love. I have a couple of different hobbies. I love to sew. I have always loved to sew. I took sewing 1 and 2 in high school to get out. I took an extra course and took away one of my study halls because I like to sew and I would rather do that than sit in a study hall. So I've been sewing since I was 8. I've been stitching in some version. I love my needlework. My mother is crafty. She showed me how to do stuff. She taught me how to do my basics, and then I taught myself the rest. She quilts, and let me tell you, she's a phenomenal quilter.
See,
I have a number of quilts that she's given me, and they're works of art, and that is why that is the mission and the vision of for the Stitcher Soul, is to keep the needleworks alive, because some of them are starting to fall by the wayside, and if we don't start teaching younger generations how to do it, that knowledge is going to die with the older generations like us.
Yeah.
And so that was the mission and why For the Stitcher Soul was born, was to keep needleworks alive and to share that knowledge with other people who want to learn.
Yep.
So, but where was I going with this?
Oh, the Lady of the Flag.
Oh yeah. So,
I butchered the video, the 2 ladies that do it, and I'm very sorry about that, but I thought it was extremely interested. I thought it was interesting because I stopped what I was doing and sat down and watched it.
Sure. Well, we're all about education here.
Yeah.
We're about teaching you how to do things, and that's, so not just, talking about our store, but talking about things that we like to do, and, teaching you how to do different things. That's why we've started doing, and by the way, the how to make your fabric covered buttons video is up. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that, it's up now. Our Vanna White showed us how to, make the buttons. So now we got to make another video.
Yes. I say once we teach,
how to stitch on a bag once we do the class.
Maybe even something like hand stitch a pillow. I like to hand stitch. I can sew, and I'm proficient with it, but I like when I do like a pillow,
A big pillow?
not a big,
A little pillow.
a
little tiny
yeah,
pillow.
I go maybe that big, that wide. Anything more than that, then I'll pull out the sewing machine and do it. But if I can get away with sewing something by hand, I would rather do it by hand than by pulling out I'm lazy.
You're not lazy. It takes a lot of work to sew things by hand. Ask me.
Yeah.
I've done it.
I've
made complete clothing outfits all by hand.
Like,
I mean, everything, every little stitch. No sewing machine involved whatsoever.
But I also say the boxes that we did, the New York Dreamer boxes.
Oh yeah.
How to make the two pieces butt up to each other.
Oh yeah.
That should be a class, because the way to make it look seamless, like you do, I think that's something else that needs to be done. You know what I mean? And just like finishing type thing. We all know my struggles with the glue gun. We have a love-hate relationship. Yeah.
That's like me and my curling iron.
And we're expanding from hot glue gun to super glue. I'm thinking maybe the whole glue thing is kind of beyond me. But to line the baskets too, I think is to line something, I think is how
to create a lining.
Yep. And I think
it's
that's
not difficult to create a lining. I mean, if you can cross stitch, you can do a back stitch, then you can sew a lining. It's that easy, because you have what? 2 seams that you have to work on. You have to work on putting the circle together, then stitch the seam for the bottom.
But if you have no idea how to do it, then
true.
You know, and I think of the newer stitchers,
I think it's easy because I mean, crap, I can make a nightgown in an hour, you know. So I guess to me that it's easy. So
but I think that's a good one too.
All righty, folks. We are over by 10 minutes, so we will call it a day. We will be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And ta-ta for now. And we look forward to seeing people tonight. Make sure you're with us for Open Stitch 6 to 8 here at the shop. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Bye.